All right, so looks like we're ready for a deep dive into Serbia today.
Yeah.
You've given me quite the stack of excerpts from Serbian Odyssey.
Yeah.
And this travel book seems like it really gets to the heart of what makes Serbia so fascinating.
I think that's a really good way to put it. This book really does go deep and looks at the different layers of
Yeah.
history, culture, nature,
Yeah.
and even the spirit of the Serbian people, which I think is a perfect approach for you.
Yeah, it's like having a personal guide leading us through these pages.
Exactly.
So, chapter 1 kind of jumps right in. It sets the scene. And we learn that Serbia is landlocked, which I find fascinating considering its history as a cultural crossroads.
Yeah.
How does a country that's not on a coastline become such a pivotal point in history?
Well, that is a great question, and the book touches on this right away. It's Serbia's location.
Yeah.
It's right in the heart of the Balkans, and that has made it a meeting point for civilizations for centuries, really.
Yeah.
East meets West, and that blending of influences, you can see it in every aspect of Serbian culture.
And geographically speaking, we've got this really interesting mix of mountains, Andy plains, which is not something you see everywhere.
Absolutely, and that diversity is key. I think
Yeah.
you have these towering mountains
Yeah.
that have provided natural barriers and protection throughout history, shaping that sense of resilience in the people.
Yeah.
And then you have these vast, fertile plains that have invited settlement, agriculture, and trade, fostering that sense of community and connection.
Speaking of connections, the book really emphasizes the importance of the Danube River. It's not just a pretty waterway. It's like the backbone of Serbia, right?
Yeah, the Danube is a lifeline,
Yeah.
a historical highway, if you will, and it's shaped Serbia's destiny for centuries. I mean, think about it. Romans, Byzantines, Ottomans, they all traveled along the Danube,
Wow.
leaving their mark on the land and its people.
It's almost like the river itself carries the weight of history. And I imagine standing on its banks, you can almost feel those echoes of the past.
Oh yeah, I've been there, and it's not just ancient history. The Danube continues to be a vital artery for trade and transportation.
Yeah.
Connecting Serbia to the rest of Europe, it's a constant reminder, I think, of Serbia's place in the world, both geographically and culturally.
Okay. Chapter 2 takes us to Belgrade, Serbia's vibrant capital, which the book affectionately calls the White City. And right away, we're struck by this intriguing contrast between old and new.
Yeah, Belgrade is a city that really embraces its past
Yeah.
while boldly looking towards the future.
Yeah.
You have these ancient landmarks, like the Kalemegdan Fortress,
Oh, yeah.
perched on this hilltop overlooking the confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers,
Wow.
a strategic location that has been fortified since Roman times.
Wow. That image is so striking. A fortress that has witnessed centuries of history standing guard over the city, and then just a stone's throw away, you have these modern architectural marvels,
Yes.
like the Belgrade waterfront project,
Yeah.
completely transforming the skyline.
Totally. And it's a powerful visual representation, I think, of Serbia's journey.
Yeah.
A nation that has endured its share of challenges,
For sure.
but is now embracing modernity and progress.
And speaking of embracing history,
Yeah.
there's a section on Skadorlizia, which the book describes as Belgrade's Bohemian Quarter. This is where things get really interesting for me.
Yeah, yes. Skadarlia. It's more than just a charming district with, cobblestone streets and traditional taverns. It's a symbol of Belgrade's artistic and intellectual spirit, a place where writers, artists, and musicians gathered in the 19th and 20th centuries, shaping the city's cultural identity.
It makes me think of Montmartre in Paris or Greenwich Village in New York City.
Exactly.
Those neighborhoods that hold the pulse of a city's creative energy.
Exactly. And it's places like Skadarlia that give a city its soul,
Right.
its unique character that draws people in.
Now, chapter 3 takes us on a journey to the heart of Serbian spirituality, the monasteries.
Yes.
The book calls them art treasures, and from the descriptions I can see why.
Yeah, these monasteries are more than just places of worship.
Right.
They're living testaments to Serbia's rich artistic and cultural heritage.
Yeah.
Take Studenica, for example.
Okay.
Founded in the 12th century, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and its frescoes are considered masterpieces of Byzantine art.
Byzantine art, that's a style I've always found captivating, but I haven't had a chance to delve into it deeply. What sets it apart, and why is it so significant in Serbia?
Good questions. So Byzantine art is characterized by its religious iconography,
Okay.
vibrant colors, and intricate details.
Yeah.
It flourished in the Byzantine Empire, which had a strong influence on Serbia.
Right.
And these frescoes in the monasteries, they tell stories.
Yeah.
They convey emotions, they connect people to their faith and their history.
It's incredible to think that these works of art have survived for centuries, preserved within these sacred spaces, and it makes you realize the importance of the Serbian Orthodox Church in shaping the nation's identity.
Couldn't agree more. The church has played a pivotal role, especially during periods of foreign occupation.
Right.
The monasteries served as centers of spiritual and cultural resistance, preserving Serbian traditions and keeping the flame of national identity burning bright.
It's a testament to the power of faith and the enduring spirit of the Serbian people. It makes me wonder, did the Ottomans try to convert Serbians to Islam? Or was there some level of tolerance? I'm curious about how those dynamics played out.
That's an excellent question, and one that we can explore further as we dive deeper into Serbia's complex history.
Yeah.
But what's important to remember is that even under Ottoman rule, the Serbian Orthodox Church and these monasteries remained beacons of hope and resilience.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about the enduring power of faith and culture in the face of adversity. Okay, I'm ready for a change of scenery.
Okay.
Chapter 4 promises a glimpse into Serbia's natural beauty, and I'm all ears.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's trade those ancient monastery walls for some wide open spaces. Chapter 4 of Serbian Odyssey dives into Serbia's natural wonders, and from the descriptions, it sounds like there's something for every type of adventurer.
Oh, yeah. This chapter really does highlight the diversity of Serbia's landscapes. You have those dramatic mountains, perfect for hiking and rafting. Gentle hills dotted with vineyards, and even the majestic Urap Gorge.
Oh, yeah.
Europe's longest gorge carved by the Danube River.
Wow. I'm picturing those postcards you see with the swirling mists and the sun breaking through the clouds over a river valley.
Uh-huh.
But this book mentions Tara National Park, home to the Tara River Canyon. Now, I've always thought the Grand Canyon was the ultimate canyon experience.
Right.
But this one is said to be even deeper.
Yeah, it is.
What makes the Tara River Canyon so special?
Well, the Tara River Canyon is a true marvel of nature, and what sets it apart is not just its depth, but its pristine beauty. Imagine towering limestone cliffs,
Wow.
lush forests clinging to the slopes, and the emerald green Tara River
Wow.
winding its way through the canyon.
It sounds like a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts. The book mentions rafting, and I can only imagine how exhilarating it must be to navigate those rapids surrounded by such breathtaking scenery.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just about adrenaline-pumping activities.
Right.
The book also highlights Fruškogora, a mountain range known for its gentler slopes, perfect for hiking and exploring the numerous monasteries nestled among the forests and vineyards.
Monasteries and vineyards, sign me up.
Right.
I'm getting a sense that Serbia is a place where spirituality and nature go hand in hand.
Yeah, you're on the money. There's a sense of harmony between the human and natural world in Serbia.
Yeah.
And that's reflected in everything from the monasteries tucked away in the mountains to the vineyards dotting the hillsides.
Okay, we've explored the mountains, we've glimpsed the rivers now. Let's head north to Vojvodina, the region highlighted in Chapter 5.
Okay.
It's described as Serbia's northern plains, but it sounds like it's much more than just flatlands.
Vojvodina is a fascinating region because it really embodies Serbia's multicultural heritage.
Yeah.
It's been shaped by a tapestry of influences from the Hungarians and Austrians to the Turks and Serbs themselves.
Right.
And that diversity is evident in everything from the architecture to the cuisine.
This book mentions that Vojvodina has been a crossroads for centuries. But what does that really mean in terms of the everyday experience? How does that multiculturalism manifest itself?
Well, imagine strolling through a city like Novi Sad,
Okay.
the main city in Vojvodina, and seeing a blend of architectural styles, Baroque, Art Nouveau, Ottoman, all standing side by side.
Yeah.
And then you step into a local market and hear a symphony of languages, Serbian, Hungarian, Romanian, Slovak.
It sounds like a place where you can truly immerse yourself in a melting pot of cultures. Speaking of Novi Sad, the book mentions this huge music festival called XIT Festival.
Oh, yeah. XIT Festival is actually a great example of how Serbia blends tradition and modernity.
Oh?
It originated as a student movement for peace and democracy in the Balkans.
Wow.
Back in 2000, and has since evolved into one of the biggest music festivals in Europe.
So it's not just about the music. It's about a spirit of activism and social change.
You got it.
I love that. And the book also mentions Subotica, known for its Art Nouveau architecture, which seems a bit unexpected in Serbia.
Yeah, Subotica is kind of a hidden gem, architecturally speaking.
Right.
Its Art Nouveau style is a legacy of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it adds a touch of whimsical elegance to the city.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that Serbia's story is woven together from threads of many different cultures.
Okay, I'm officially adding Subotica to my travel list.
You should.
But first, let's indulge our taste buds a bit. Chapter 6 is all about Serbian cuisine.
Okay.
And from the descriptions, I'm already feeling hungry.
Serbian food is all about hearty flavors, fresh ingredients, and a deep sense of tradition.
Okay.
The book highlights dishes like savapi,
Yeah.
those grilled minced meat rolls that are a staple street food,
Oh, yeah.
and sarma, the comforting stuffed cabbage rolls
Yeah.
that are a testament to Serbian hospitality.
Savampi sound delicious.
Yeah.
But what makes them uniquely Serbian? Is there a story behind them? A special way they're prepared?
Well, what sets Serbian savapi apart is the blend of meats, usually a mix of lamb, beef, and pork.
Okay.
And the specific blend of spices used, they're grilled over charcoal, giving them a smoky flavor.
Yeah.
And they're often served with kajmak,
Okay.
a creamy cheese spread that adds a touch of richness.
Okay, I'm officially craving chavapi now. And sarma, is it similar to stuffed cabbage rolls in other cultures, or is there something that sets the Serbian version apart?
Well, sarma is a dish found throughout the Balkans, but each country has its own variations.
Okay.
In Serbia, sarma is typically made with minced meat, rice, and spices,
Okay.
all wrapped in cabbage leaves and slow cooked in a savory tomato-based sauce.
It sounds like the ultimate comfort food, perfect for a cold winter evening. And of course, we can't talk about Serbian cuisine without mentioning rakića.
Rakića. It's more than just fruit brandy. It's a symbol of Serbian hospitality and tradition,
Yeah.
made from a variety of fruits, most commonly plums.
Okay.
It's a strong drink that's often shared with friends and family.
I've heard that rakića is quite potent. Is there a specific way it's traditionally enjoyed in Serbia?
Yeah, rakića is typically served in small glasses.
Okay.
As a welcome drink or an aperitif. It's said to be a good way to stimulate the appetite and warm you up from the inside out.
And the book emphasizes that it's not just what they eat and drink, but how they do it. There's a real emphasis on hospitality and sharing, right?
Absolutely. In Serbian culture, food is a way of bringing people together, of showing generosity and warmth.
Yeah.
Inviting someone to share a meal is a sign of respect and friendship.
It's a beautiful reminder that food is more than just sustenance. It's a way of connecting with others, of celebrating life, and of preserving traditions.
And that sense of connection to tradition is very much alive in Serbia, which brings us to Chapter 7 and its exploration of hidden villages.
This is where things get really intriguing. We're talking about villages like Drvengrad, built by the renowned Serbian film director, Emir Kusturica.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard about this, but I have to admit it still blows my mind.
Right.
He literally built an entire village.
He did. It started as a film set for his movie Life is a Miracle.
Oh, wow.
But Kusturica envisioned it as something more than just a temporary structure. He wanted to create a space that celebrated traditional Serbian architecture, art, and culture.
So it's like a living, breathing tribute to Serbian heritage.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Drvengrad, which translates to wooden town, is nestled in the hills of western Serbia.
Okay.
It's built entirely of wood with cobblestone streets, a quaint church, a library, a cinema, even its own currency.
Wow, it sounds like something out of a fairy tale. And then there's Sirogojno, described as an ethno-village, which seems to be all about preserving traditional crafts and ways of life.
Right. Sirogojno is a fascinating place because it's like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
You can see traditional Serbian houses, visit workshops where artisans create handmade textiles, pottery, and wood carvings, and experience a slower pace of life.
It makes me think of those living history museums you find in the U.S., but with a much deeper connection to the culture and heritage.
It's not just about showcasing the past, it's about keeping those traditions alive. Sirogojno is a place where visitors can learn about the skills and artistry that have been passed down through generations and perhaps even take a piece of that heritage home with them.
Okay, we've experienced the tranquility of the villages now. Let's crank up the energy. Chapter 8 is all about festivals, and Serbia seems to have a celebration for just about everything.
Well, what's remarkable about the festival scene in Serbia is the range of experiences.
Yeah.
You have everything from traditional events steeped in history and folklore to modern music festivals that draw crowds from around the world.
The Gucha Trumpet Festival definitely caught my eye. The book mentions hundreds of brass bands gathering in this small town. It sounds like a truly unique spectacle.
Kucha is a celebration of brass band music, pure and simple.
Yeah.
It's a joyous, chaotic, and unforgettable experience drawing music lovers from all corners of the globe.
It sounds like the perfect antidote to the everyday routine.
Uh-huh.
And then we have the Kustendorf Film Festival, founded by our village-building friend, Emir Kusturica.
Yes, Karuka is a force of nature. And his film festival is a reflection of his passion for cinema.
Yeah.
It's held in Dravengrad, his wooden village.
Wow.
And it showcases independent and international films fostering a dialogue between cultures through the art of storytelling.
So it's a celebration of film, but also a platform for cultural exchange.
Right.
And then there's XIT Festival, which we talked about earlier. It started as a student movement and has evolved into one of the biggest music festivals in Europe. It seems like Serbia has found a way to blend its history of activism with its love of music and celebration.
Exactly. And let's not forget the traditional events like Vidovdan,
Oh, yeah?
which commemorates the Battle of Kosovo, a pivotal event in Serbian history.
What?
It's a day of remembrance, but also a celebration of Serbian culture and identity.
So you have ancient customs and modern celebrations coexisting, creating this dynamic tapestry of cultural expression.
It's a testament to Serbia's ability to honor its past while embracing the present and looking towards the future.
All right, let's raise a glass literally because
Yeah.
Chapter 9 is all about Serbian wine.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to learn more about their winemaking traditions.
Well, Serbia might not be the first country that comes to mind when you think of wine,
Right.
but it actually has a long and rich history of viticulture,
Oh, wow.
dating back to Roman times.
Really that far back?
Yeah.
I had no idea what happened to their wine industry over the centuries. So we've got Roman vineyards, Ottoman occupations, modern revivals. The story of Serbian wine sounds as complex and fascinating as the country itself.
It is. It really is. And the book mentions that Serbian winemaking did face some challenges during, periods of foreign rule, but it never truly disappeared.
Right.
And in recent decades, there's been this resurgence of interest in indigenous grape varieties and traditional winemaking methods.
Like a reclaiming of their heritage, bottled up and ready to be shared with the world.
I like that.
And speaking of indigenous grapes, the book highlights Prokupak, which I'd never heard of before.
Right.
It sounds like a hidden gem for wine enthusiasts.
Prokupak is a red grape that's natal to Serbia, and it's known for producing these full-bodied complex wines with notes of dark fruit spice and earthiness.
Wow.
It's a grape that really reflects the terroir of the region. The soil, the climate, the history, all captured in a glass.
It's incredible how a single grape can encapsulate so much of a place's essence.
Yeah.
The book mentions several wine regions, but one that stood out was Umedija, described as the heartland of Serbian winemaking. What makes this region so special?
Well, Umedija is located in central Serbia,
Okay.
and it's known for its rolling hills, fertile soil,
Yeah.
and ideal climate for grape cultivation.
Nice.
It's where some of Serbia's most renowned wineries are located, and it's a region that's steeped in winemaking tradition.
It sounds like the perfect place to sip and savor, surrounded by vineyards and history. But before we get too carried away with visions of wine tasting,
Right.
we need to address Chapter 10,
Okay.
which delves into a more serious topic,
Yeah.
Serbia's turbulent past.
This chapter acknowledges those difficult periods in Serbian history, from the Ottoman occupation to the Yugoslav wars.
Yeah.
But it does so with a focus on the resilience of the Serbian people.
It's a delicate balance,
Yeah.
acknowledging the hardships
Yeah.
without overshadowing the spirit of the people.
Mm-hmm.
How does the book approach this sensitive topic?
Well, it highlights stories of survival,
Okay.
of communities rebuilding,
Yeah.
of traditions being preserved against all odds.
Wow.
It emphasizes that despite the challenges they've faced, the Serbian people have retained their strength, their warmth, and their sense of community.
It's a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, and it reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope.
Yes.
There's always a reason to keep going.
Couldn't agree more. And that resilience,
Yeah.
that ability to rise above adversity,
Yeah.
it's woven into the fabric of Serbian culture.
Yeah.
You see it in their art, their music, their cuisine, their hospitality. It's an integral part of who they are.
It's a powerful message, and one that resonates far beyond Serbia's borders. It's a reminder that we all have the capacity for resilience, for overcoming challenges, and for emerging stronger on the other side.
That's right. And as we wrap up this deep dive into Serbia, I think it's important to bring it back to you, the listener.
Yeah.
What does this information mean for you?
Right.
How has it shifted your perspective on Serbia?
That's a great question. I started this deep dive knowing very little about Serbia, and Honestly, my perception was shaped by headlines and news snippets,
Right.
but now, thanks to Serbian Odyssey, I see a country that's so much more than just its history.
You've glimpsed the mountains and valleys,
Yeah.
tasted the flavors of their cuisine,
Yeah.
heard the echoes of their music, and
Mhm.
most importantly, you've encountered the spirit of the Serbian people.
And that spirit is what truly captivates me. Their resilience, their warmth, their love of life.
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Yes, it is.
I feel like I've only scratched the surface and I'm eager to learn more.
And that's the beauty of the learner mindset. The journey never truly ends.
That's right.
There's always more to discover, more to understand, more to appreciate.
The book ends on this thought-provoking note. Serbia has always been a crossroads, a meeting point of cultures and influences. But what does it mean to be at a crossroads in today's world? A world that's increasingly interconnected, yet also fragmented.
That's a question for you to ponder.
Yeah.
Perhaps Serbia, with its rich history of blending East and West, has something unique to offer this world.
Right.
Perhaps its story of resilience can inspire us to bridge divides and find common ground.
Something tells me we've only just begun our Serbian Odyssey.
And I have a feeling that the more you explore, the more you'll discover.